Welcome back. In this week's episode, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, we see Scottish flings as a minor plotline, forming part of the film's broader satire of British social and romantic customs, including the way people from different regions of the UK, like the Scots, are portrayed in English middle-class settings. 4 Weddings and a Funeral follows Charles, played by Hugh Grant, and his circle of friends as they attend 4 weddings and a funeral, all while navigating love, awkwardness, and class-bound romantic expectations along the way. We see a Scottish fling that can be interpreted in 2 overlapping ways. The 3rd wedding, Carrie to Hamish, takes place in a Scottish village complete with tartan, kilt, bagpipes, and traditional dancing, including the Highland Fling, reflecting the English perception of Scottish weddings as boisterous, traditional, and slightly chaotic, full of whiskey, flirtation, and uninhibited fun. And the film also plays with the idea of a fling as a short-lived romance. Charles has a brief romantic encounter with Carrie, played by Andie MacDowell, during the first wedding and before her own wedding that could be humorously viewed as their own Scottish fling. It's passionate, spontaneous, and geographically distant from his normal English routine, the kind of romantic escapade people might associate with being away at a wedding in the Highlands. And the Scottish setting is portrayed through a light comedic lens. Misty candles, over-the-top kilts, and hearty toasts. It's not so much meant to be a realistic depiction of Scotland so much as a romanticized backdrop for English visitors' emotional mishaps. 4 Weddings and a Funeral uses the Scottish wedding to show how social rituals, from drinking to dancing, loosen the typically reserved English characters. Scotland becomes a symbol of emotional release and passionate chaos, showing the Scottish fling as both literal and metaphorical. Literally, it's the lively Highland wedding full of dancing and tartan pomp. Figuratively, it's Charles's impulsive romantic encounter with Carrie, a fling that begins the emotional journey of the entire film. And while slightly stereotypical, the portrayal isn't cruel or mocking. It's part of the film's broader, effective ribbing of British manners and regional quirks. But where does the tradition of the Scottish fling come from? Grab your kilts, maybe your knickers, and get ready for a fun fling. The Scottish fling is actually a traditional Highland dance full of jumps, spins, and fancy footwork. A regular Scottish fling is joyous, flirtatious, and often performed at celebrations like weddings. And really, nothing captures the spirit of Scottish culture better than the sight of Highland dancing in some far-flung corner of the world. And according to tradition, the old kings and clan chiefs used the Highland Games as a means to select their best men at arms, and the discipline required to perform the Highland dances allowed men to demonstrate their strength, stamina, and agility. Not to mention their ability to, perform on the wedding night. It is also said that Scottish mercenaries performed a sword dance before the Swedish King John III at a banquet held at Stockholm Castle in 1573. Now, the dance was apparently part of a plot to assassinate the king. The weapons necessary to complete the dastardly deed just happened to be a natural prop for the festivities. Luckily for the king, the signal was never given to implement the plan. Now, 4 Weddings and a Funeral is a love letter to the chaos of human connection, told through kilts, dancing, and the occasional hangover. 3 decades later, the movie remains one of the most memorable depictions of Scottish fling in film, both as a cultural celebration and a symbol of love's unpredictability. So next time you hear bagpipes or see someone in a kilt, remember, sometimes it's a fling, whether it's a dance or a weekend romance, can change everything. So go ahead and give the subscribe button a fling of its own so you never miss a thing. And be sure to subscribe to the Real Relationships podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. And follow us on all of the socials. We're, of course, on YouTube. New episodes drop every Thursday, along with Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, and TikTok. We appreciate our listeners, our followers, and subscribers, and we enjoy bringing you great content pretty much every day. Have a fling, but stay safe, and we'll see you soon.